Hello friends, today I will discuss the heating. As Johnson Samuel told, heat is life, cold is death. So here I will discuss about what are the sources of heat, what are the methods of heat transfer, what are the types of heating, what are the electrodes and their characteristics, what are heating elements, what are their characteristics. Here the sources of heat are natural, the other is artificial. Natural means it is sun. Coming to the artificial, it is produced by electricity that comes from the thermal power, nuclear power, wind power, etc. Coming to the types of heat transfer, there are three methods. One is conduction, the other is convection, the other is radiation. So when you look at this example, here we have the coil heated by electricity. So the heat has three forms here. One is conduction, that is here we have the bowl with water and it has a lever or handle to use by hand. So when this bowl is heated and if it is the this lever is conductor, then the heat will transfer from this bowl surface to this handle. So when you keep the handle there, hand or finger there, so the finger also starts feeling heat. So passing the heat from the bowl surface to the lever, that is conductor, is called the conduction. Whereas coming to the convection, here the heat first reaches the bowl surface and from bowl surface it reaches the water, that is liquid molecules. From molecules it reaches to other molecules. So here the heat is transferred from one molecule to the other, so it is called the convection. Coming to the other type of heat that comes from this oven is nothing but waves, that is nothing but radiation. It comes in the form of electromagnetic waves like this. Next, coming to the terms used in the heating methods, electrodes, charge, power transformer, etc. So what is meant by electrodes? Means these are the essential elements in all the furnaces. Coming to the charge, charge means it is nothing but material which is to be heated. Coming to the power transformer, it is used in the arc furnace to get the low voltage with high current at the secondary side. So normally their rating will be minimum 50 kVA to 12 MVA. Coming to the types of heating, number one is resistance heating. In this, again there are two types: direct resistance method, indirect resistance method. In direct resistance method, the current is passed through the element which is to be heated. Whereas in the indirect resistance method, current is passed through the heating element. From there, it will be transferred to the charge or to the element to be heated by convection or radiation. Next, induction heating. Here again there are two types of heating methods: power frequency induction heating, the other is high frequency induction heating with magnetic material disk. Coming to the dielectric heating, high frequency heating with non-conducting or dielectric material. So next, electrodes. So there are two types of electrodes. One is called the carbon electrode. The other type is called the graphite electrodes. So the examples that we can see here, this is the AA battery. When you open it, we find like this a small rod. This is nothing but an electrode. So this material is carbon. So this is called the carbon electrode. So when you heat it to a higher temperature, then we get another type of electrode. That electrode is nothing but graphite electrode. It will be like this. So this we also find in the ordinary pencils. The advantage of graphite electrode is, so for same current ratings, for same job, the size of the graphite electrode is half the size of the carbon electrode. But the cost of the graphite electrode is more than the cost of the carbon electrode. Coming to the characteristics of these electrodes, so we have to see their characteristic before we choose for a certain job. So number one is conductivity. It should have high conductivity. Number two is insolubility. It means it should not dissolve with the charge. Infusibility means it should not melt when high current flows through it. Next, chemical inertness. It should not be disturbed or its characteristics should not change with the inert gases or any other environment. Next, coming to the mechanical strength, it should be strong enough to use in the furnace. Next, it should have a good resistance to thermal shock. So coming to the resistance heating, so there are two types of heating. One is direct resistance heating, the other is indirect resistance heating. If we look at this, we find a chamber here, and in this is nothing but charge which is to be heated. This is whole thing we call as furnace, and here we have the electrodes. These electrodes are commonly used or carbon electrodes. So these carbon electrodes are immersed in the charge like this, and high resistivity powder is sprinkled over this charge so that these electrodes never short circuit. So when the supply is connected to these electrodes, current passes through these electrodes to the charge to be heated. And the temperatures that we can expect in this type of resistance heating is from 500 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade. When it comes to the indirect resistance heating, here we have the a chamber. In that we have the refractive material inside like this. In that we put a charge like this is charge, and here at the center we have a cylinder or tube, and in that we keep the electrode like this. So then when we give the supply to these electrodes, then these electrodes will become hot. Then so here we have the two electrodes here, and here we have the element. means this is the resistive element. When supply is given to the electrodes, this resistance is going to be get heated, and from that the heat is transferred to the charge by convection and the radiation. Next, coming to the characteristics of the resistive element to be used is called the heating element. So the first characteristics it should have is high specific resistance. Next is high melting point, low temperature coefficient, and it should not be oxidized with the environment.